What we do here is go back.
No matter where you are in the city of Pittsburgh, you are steps away from experiencing a work of art. Public art is a distinguishing part of our home. It is freely accessible and enables people to experience art in their daily life outside of museums or other cultural institutions. It reflects our history and our evolving culture. It helps to give our communities a stronger sense of identity and place. Public art matters, and public art matters to the city of Pittsburgh. Welcome back to Pittsburgh Public Art. Today we are going to be talking about the Langley Observatory clock in the North Shore. We're joined by Morton Brown, the city's public art manager. Morton, can you tell us a bit about this sculpture?
Yeah, it's a really cool piece. It's a highly visible piece. It's on the North Shore, nearby to the Science Center. You've probably seen it if you've been down to an event on the North Shore and anywhere in that area. It sort of bookends a lot of the war memorials that we have and the police memorials. So once you've sort of done the row of memorials, sort of at the end towards the Science Center, you'll find this piece. It is a piece that was commissioned by the Sports and Exhibition Authority. The land on the North Shore, where it currently resides, was conveyed from the city to the SCA a few years ago for development. And one day it will all come back to the city of Pittsburgh. So all of the artworks there, whether they were commissioned by the Sports and Exhibition Authority or a third party or the city, we've worked collaboratively on all of those pieces for approvals and so forth, knowing that it'll come back to the city one day. So R.M. Fisher was the artist selected for this piece, and the piece is called Langley Observatory Clock because it's about Samuel Langley and his contribution to the standardization of timekeeping. So he really is touted, Samuel Langley of the Langley Observatory, the observatory in Riverview Park on the north side. Samuel Langley is famous for using astronomy to standardize time. So it's sort of the precursor to the atomic clock. So this was revolutionary in the late 19th century for train schedules and so forth. It was even, the observatory was even instrumental in connecting to the city-county building, where the city sort of was the official timekeeper at that time. So it's really interesting, the history that sculpture taps into in such a modern fashion. And so when you look at the sculpture, that's why you see sort of like a little compass needle on top. The eyes that light up sort of are reminiscent of a train lantern and so forth. So that's why it was placed on the North Shore and so forth. So it's really a beautiful piece. It actually was touted by the mayor a couple of years ago and winning the Mayor's Work of Art Award as part of the Greater Pittsburgh Arts Council's annual event. So we're really proud of it, and we think it's a really substantial piece, really fun piece.
Yeah, it seems like it has a very interesting history. Now we're going to meet with Christina Lynch, the Sustainability Coordinator of the Sports and Exhibition Authority, who helped display this piece, and she's going to tell us more about its story. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today. Can you tell us a bit about the Langley Observatory clock and your role in helping facilitate its display?
The Langley Observatory clock was placed in the North Shore Riverfront Park as a part of the public art program when the park was constructed. This site was actually chosen in advance of the sculpture being designed. So the committee selected R.M. Fisher, the artist, based on his proposal for this site. And then after they went through that process and selected him, he created the piece. The piece is over 21 feet tall. It is made of Corten and stainless steel, and it is kind of an homage to Pittsburgh's industrial past. The sculpture consists mainly of a Corten steel I-beam, and off of that I-beam there are two lanterns, which within the lanterns there are two what the artist referred to as eyes, and those eyes have blue and amber colored lenses, which were selected because of the railroad lit switch lamps of yesterday. Below the lanterns is a trough made of stainless steel, and that sort of illuminates the sculpture at night, brings people's attention to it. And then finally, at the top of the sculpture, there is a red aluminum clock hand, and it marks the minutes passing time. And the shape of that aluminum clock hand, it was inspired by the confluence of the three rivers. It's a triangular shape.
How do the Sports and Exhibition Authority and the city work together to display features like this?
The city and the Sports and Exhibition Authority both value public art very highly. So the Sports and Exhibition Authority has an art committee which oversees its public art collection, and we work very closely with the city's public art office and Morton Brown, the city's public art commissioner. So a lot of what we do is in concert with them, particularly, with our facilities being located in the downtown area. So a lot of what we do, we work with them on a day-to-day basis in terms of maintenance, in terms of, figuring out what to do with new pieces of art that may be presented to us and things like that.
Are there any other pieces that you're collaborating on now, in the past, or you have ideas for in the future?
We're working with the city on the future curtain call, which will be placed next to Consol Energy Center. And we also work with them, with the other sculptures in the North Shore Riverfront Park. The Tribute to Children, Mr. Rogers sculpture is one of those.
Are there any other sculptures downtown that you've worked on?
One that's part of the Convention Center's art collection is actually not at the Convention Center right now, is the Pittsburgh Magnolia sculpture, which is at the parklet at the corner of 7th Street and Penn Avenue. It's two bronze magnolia trees designed by Tony Tassett, and those magnolia trees were intended to be placed at the Convention Center as part of a main entrance hotel, which hasn't materialized yet. So in the meantime, we've loaned those sculptures to the Cultural Trust, and they're placed across the street from the Benedum Center, and they're really well received, placed in a park area amongst other live magnolia trees. There's an interesting juxtaposition of the forever in bloom bronze magnolia trees with the live magnolia trees that go through the seasons and leaf and drop their leaves and then flower in the spring again.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece. I like that one a lot. Mm-hmm. Why do you think public art is important, and why do you think it's important for the city to support local artists?
It's important for the city to recognize and support public art because it brings public art and art in general to the entire population, which, when art is placed behind closed doors in museums and things like that, there might be difficulty for everyone to access it. So the importance of the city to really serve the general public and give them public art in the greatest scale possible.
Well, thank you very much for meeting with us. It's a very interesting sculpture. And thank you all for watching Pittsburgh Public Art. If you want to learn more about art in the city, you can check out our website, pittsburghpa.gov/DCP/public-art.